All right, thanks everybody for joining us today. We will go ahead and get started with Alexis Hollowey, and Mark will have you up first.
Hey, Alexis, thanks for taking the time. I appreciate it. First off, can you just elaborate on why you decided to come back for another year in South Bend?
Yeah, I'm really excited about that decision, and I'm looking forward to coming back and spending another year with my teammates, the coaches, and just another year with this program. My sister's actually going to be here next year too, which was a big factor in my decision. And yeah, so I'm really excited about it.
Okay, cool. And then just obviously, I'm sure that it stung a little bit to get bounced in the first your first game of the ACC tournament, but just how much intensity is there in the NCAA tournament when regionals start? I'm sure it's just got to be out of this world.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but for us, it's more softball games, and we just got to go out and worry about ourselves and, try to just play our game and, relax and just roll like we have the rest of the season. And, postseason's really a whole nother ball game. So we're almost like starting over, and we're going to go out and just focus on us.
How confident are you as a team right now? Obviously, you had won a bunch of games in a row before the ACC tournament, but just how confident is your team right now heading into regionals?
We're practicing hard right now. We look good on the field. We look good at practice. Like you said, we stumbled a little bit at ACCs, but that happens to everybody. And we're ready to get back out on the field and make a run at something.
And then what makes Miami of Ohio a tough opponent to go against?
Well, anybody that's left at this point is a tough opponent. So we're just really looking forward to getting back on the field in Kentucky and playing some good competition, playing some good softball.
And then 22, this is my last question. 22 years in a row, Notre Dame has made the NCAA tournament. What does that speak on the success of the program at Notre Dame?
Yeah, I mean, our culture and character here, I think is unmatched. I'm probably a little biased in that one, but and I think that those 22 years in a row show that not only are we, students off the field, but we're always ready to compete as athletes on the field.
Thanks, Alexis.
Thank you.
All right, and Pete, we'll go to you next.
Hey, Alexis, I'm just curious. I've only got one for you. Personally, how eager are you to get back in the circle and rinse the taste of that Virginia Tech game out of your mouth? I mean, you've had such a good season, and that's not indicative of your typical play. Again, I would imagine you're really eager to get out there and play Friday.
Yeah, we're always eager to get out and play. But as a team after a loss, you're always ready to get back between the lines and go and compete for another game. But yeah, like I said, we're just really excited to get down to Kentucky and start this new season. That is the postseason.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, we don't have any more questions for Alexis. We will move to Emma Clark. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll keep it going with Emma Clark, and Mark, we will start with you.
Hi, Emma. Thanks for taking the time. Just how does it feel to be back in the NCAA tournament? Notre Dame's been here a bunch of times in a row, 22 straight seasons. Just how does it feel to be back, and what's the energy like once the NCAA tournament begins?
Yeah, so we're really excited to be back. Obviously, we weren't able to do anything last year in the postseason and stuff because of COVID, so we're really excited to have a postseason this year. And I'd say the intensity right now, everybody is really good, in a good place, really positive vibes in the locker room and on the practice field and stuff, and we're just really excited to get out there and get after it.
How confident is your team right now? Obviously, tough loss last week, but you had won a bunch of games in a row prior to that. How confident is your group heading into the tournament?
Yeah, so we're really just focused on the future right now, and we're really confident going into this tournament. We're really happy with our bid and where we're at, and we're excited to just start playing again.
Awesome. What makes Miami of Ohio a tough opponent?
Yeah, I mean, they obviously did well in their conference and their league and stuff, but and they have a good record and stuff and have a lot of wins. But I mean, we're really excited to play against them, and I think that we have as much if not more momentum too.
Okay, this is the last one for me. It's more of a personal question. I love your walk-up song. What is it? I'm just curious because I've been wanting to figure out what it is. I've never heard it before.
Yeah, it's called Thief by OOKY.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like the instrumental part in the middle of the song, but thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Emma.
All right, and we will go next to Pete. And for those who have just joined, if you use the raise hand function, we'll know that you have a question.
Hey, just a couple quick ones for you. How does the ACC tournament kind of serve as a reminder for you guys that this time of year, no matter how well you're playing, one off day can really be critical. And to build on that, how important do you think it is to get off to a fast start this weekend in your first game?
Yeah, so I think getting off to a fast start is going to be really important in getting the momentum going for this weekend. And honestly, I think that you learn a lot more from a loss and stuff, and that's really important going into the postseason. And it reminds us that anybody, once you get on the field, it's up for grabs. Anybody can win a game. So yeah. And
last one I have for you, and obviously this is tough because it's not easy to hit, but you guys are in a position last week where just like it seems like one or two critical hits with a runner on base would have totally changed the dynamic of that game. How do you approach at bats like that? Or, in a sport where going 1 out of 3 is good, when I really need to be 1 out of 1 this at bat, what do you focus on?
Yeah, just relying on your fundamentals and trusting in yourself, and that you can just believing in yourself is the biggest thing in those situations, and knowing that you have the power to do it. And just, our coaches have a lot of confidence in us, and just we have enough confidence in each other. Just believing in yourself in those situations is really critical.
Thank you.
All right, if there are no other questions, we will move on to Abby Sweet. Okay, we'll keep it going with Abby Sweet. As a reminder, use the raise hand function if you have a question. And we will start off with Mark.
Hi, Abby. Thanks for taking the time. Just curious, what went into your decision to come back for another year in South Bend? I'm sure everybody's excited to have you back.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It was kind of a no-brainer. I felt like this place is just the best. I love my teammates. I love my coaches. I love this atmosphere. And for me, it's pretty simple because I'm staying within the business school. So I was just pumped to have the opportunity to come back. Is kind of like a silver lining of COVID.
Okay, cool. And then just what's the intensity level like? How much does it ramp up once the NCAA tournament starts? And it's obviously starting for you guys this week.
Yeah, it's pretty high intensity. We kind of call it like another season. Everyone's playing their best softball. So we just got to go out and attack the game and play together, and don't let the hype and the intensity kind of overwhelm us, and just stay within ourselves, and we'll be good to go.
And then what makes Miami of Ohio a tough team to go against?
They're a solid team. They did great in their conference, and we just can't take any opponent lightly. Every opponent is going to be a great team at this point in the season. So we just need to once again play together and attack the game.
And then last one from me, Abby. Notre Dame's played in 22 straight NCAA tournaments, 22nd straight regional. Just how special is that for a program to be so consistent like that?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's great that we're consistent. It's great that we, we're confident in ourselves, but we want to make a super regional, and this is our year. We're in a great regional, and I think we have a really good chance of coming out of this. We play our best softball.
Awesome. Thanks, Abby.
Thank you.
All right, if we don't have any other questions, we will wrap it up with Abby, and then in a few minutes, we'll have Deanna Gumpf. All right, and we'll continue with head coach Deanna Gumpf, and Pete, we will go to you first. Pete, whenever you're ready, feel free to go ahead. We will give Pete some time. We'll go first to Mark.
Hey, Coach, you got me?
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time. I appreciate it. I'm just curious, 22 straight years in the NCAA tournament, the regionals, how special is that for your program?
It's quite an accomplishment for our program. I think a lot of people take it for granted getting into the NCAA, and it's not easy. When you have 300 softball teams vying for a spot of 64 and half of them go to automatic bids, you have to be pretty darn good over and over and over. And I'm really proud of, the fact that we've done it for 22 years now in a row. It's not easy. And like I said, I'm just proud of the fact that we're there and we have a shot and we're going to take it.
And then obviously, I'm sure you're pretty excited that you got 3 of your seniors coming back for another year. How pumped were you to find out that news that they wanted to come back for another year?
I am extremely excited. I feel like I'm so lucky. I mean, to have Abby Holloway and Sarah come back and to continue to lead the team. Wow. I mean, it's pretty impressive that they're all able to make that decision. And I'm just thrilled to have them one more season.
And then what did you think of your regional? How do you think that, what did you think of the teams in your regional? How do you feel like you guys fit in there?
Yeah, I think it's a really good regional bid. I think I'm thrilled that we get to drive to Kentucky and not fly across the country. And all 4 teams are very, very good. I don't think, if you look at them, I don't think there's really a 1 seed, a 2 seed, a 3 seed, a 4 seed. I think that these are 4 teams that have been playing really good softball all season long. And whoever brings it, whoever gets a job done, makes the least amount of mistakes and starts fast will win.
And then how does the intensity level kind of just amp up during the postseason once regionals start? I know it's always intense, but I'm sure there's just a different level of intensity once it's the postseason.
Yeah, and it's really managing that intensity because you want them to understand, the level of what's going on and the opportunity that's in front of them, but you never want them to play tight. And it's just managing the emotions, and we've done it all different ways. We've given our best shot, and we're hoping that we bring our best softball this coming weekend. And if we do that, we've got a great shot of winning it.
And then what makes Miami of Ohio a tough opponent?
They have one of the best pitchers in the country, hands down. Her stats are crazy. She's very, very good. She moves the ball around. She has a nice rise ball curve combination and really does a great job of leading her team in the circle, and they have a ton of power. So we need to do a great job of keeping their hitters off balance and find a way to put the ball in play. And, we've done a great job against some really good pitchers all season long of making things happen. And that's my message with this team. This first game is we just have to find a way, put the ball in play, make things happen, and manufacture runs.
Abby Sweet said that she really thinks that this team has a chance to win a super regional or to go to a super regional. What would it mean to you to go to a super regional?
Well, I would be thrilled for this team. They've come through a very, very tough spring. And we're in a really good place right now. And I do think we're playing really good softball at the right time. We took a tough loss against the Tech at the ACC tournament. And I got to be honest, beating a team 4 times is really hard. Beating a team 5 times, it's really tough. And they started fast and we were trying to play catch up. So if we can continue to play fast and make things happen ourselves, we do have the opportunity. And I would be so happy for this team because they've been through so much and have worked so hard towards this postseason.
And Coach, last one from me. Obviously, if you guys win and Kentucky wins, you'll be playing against a former high school player in our area, Erin Koffel. I'm just curious, what was the recruiting process with her like, and what kind of a player is she?
Oh man, Koffel was committed very early in the process. She committed super early, and she's a great player. Yeah, she was going to Kentucky, I think, from her freshman year on. And she's a great player. She is. I'm excited for her. I won't take her for granted at all. She can hit the ball. She's always been able to hit the ball, and I love what she's doing for Kentucky. I'm so happy for her, and I know she's got a huge future there.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
You got it.
All right, Pete, we will go to you.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Pete.
Obviously, it's no secret you guys want to make it to a super regional. Why do you think that this team is built to be able to do that this year?
I think that we're playing well at the right time. And it's so important. There's so many good teams right now. And, we're all fighting for the same thing, right? We're finding a way to win. But there's something to be said about playing really well at the right time. And I think that we're doing that. And I think that's why I believe that this team really, really feels like we have a shot.
It's impossible. It's really hard to win 14 in a row. I mean, at some point, all winning streaks have to come to an end. Obviously, you guys didn't want to lose to Virginia Tech, but is it in any way positive that you got a loss out of the way and maybe you can start winning again? Like, so that, because at some point it's inevitable, right?
Right. It wasn't so much about the win streak and the loss. It was more about what could we take from that game to make us better. And we knew exactly where we fell short, and we know exactly what we need to do so it doesn't happen again. And I think if we can really physically do the things that we've been talking about, and they're just little things, and those little things make such a big difference in the game. But if we can continue to do those things, I think that's the biggest learning lesson. And that's all that we care about right now. What can we learn and how do we get better from it? And I think we know what we need to do to win ball games.
Obviously, one or two clutch hits in that game against Virginia Tech, and it's probably a different story. You spoke a few minutes ago about like trying to manage the intensity because it's such a big moment. How do you do that when there's a likelihood that these games come down to just a couple at bats?
Right. I think number one, we have to stay in the moment and don't look past what's right in front of us. So that's my number one message is all we care about is right here and right now. And that means like today at practice, all we care about is today at practice, and really not overthink what's going to happen and think about the bigger picture. We just need to manage what's in front of us right now. And I think if we continue to do that, that's what we were rolling with so well leading up to this time. And I think that's what we're going to stay with.
In a double elimination format, how important is it to start fast?
Yeah, well, number one, our whole goal is score first, find a way to score first and continue to put lots of pressure on our opponent. But not only that, I think the thing that we have that's wonderful is we have two pitchers and really three with Morgan. She's done such a great job. So with those three in our pocket that we can trust to take the mound at any given point, I love our odds with that. And I think that's something that a lot of other teams don't have.
Do you think your girls are hungry for this weekend?
I think they're very hungry for this weekend. And again, it's just managing that. I think they realize how good that they really are. This is a really good team. And I think the good thing is that they realize that.
And obviously we've spoken a little bit about the tournament streak. It's really impressive, but winning this weekend would be another huge step. What would it mean to your program, to get to a super regional?
Yeah, it's something that we talk about all year long. It's something that our alumni talk about, the girls who are recruiting talk about. It's just it's a huge step for us to be able to end in that top 16 and then move on to that top 8. Like it's just that next step to be able to play your very best when you need to. And that's what it's all about right now.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, and I think unless there are any more about NCAAs, we will go to Rhiannon, who has a question about Alexis Holloway.
Sorry, I had to unmute. Sorry, totally I should be up on my Zoom stuff by now. Hey coach, how are you doing? It's Rhiannon from D1 softball.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, I was just curious. With Alexis, I'm working on that story and I'm sure Claire's kind of filled you in, but how have you viewed her ability to juggle both the academic and the softball portion of her time at Notre Dame? It sounds quite intimidating when I was talking to her a little bit about exactly what she's been able to do.
It's very intimidating, and that's why she is so impressive to me. Because there's just not many people who can handle the load that she's handled. And if you see her growth, I can tell you, I can take you step by step, year by year, and how she's managed it and how she's handled it. And a couple of times she's just treading water, right? Like she was just like, I gotta make it. And I do think it's part of the process of her getting from where she was to where she is right now. And I'll tell you, she's been through a lot. The engineering school is no joke. And the time that she puts in every single day is incredible. And I can also tell you, anytime that I'm up here alone on a random day, she's the one that's here. She is doing spins in the bullpen or hitting off a tee, constantly always doing something. I don't know if she knows how to just chill out and watch a movie. I don't think that's in her DNA.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. She's not good. She's good with chaos, you know?
Yeah.
And obviously we were talking about how she's coming back, which I know she was kind of dancing around that. I was wondering if there was going to be something to come out, because how good is that though to know? I mean, I don't know I know that her sister's coming too, which should be really fun. How is that going to be to have her back and then having her little sister there?
No, like I said earlier, I'm thrilled. I feel like I'm the luckiest coach in the whole country to get these three coming back for one more year. It's just insane. It's just, it is like the icing on the COVID cake, right? The good thing that comes out of this crazy, crazy world. And for Alexis, it's just so much more than just playing, because she does get to spend that year with her sister. It's something that they never even thought would be possible. And now they're going to be playing on the same team. I love it for her parents. I love it for her family. And you know, Holloway, she just is a Notre Dame person. She's going to be here 20 years from now. She's going to be coming back. That's who she is. And it's just part of who she is. And she loves this place so much. And she loves this program so much.
Last question. Have you been able to actually see the remote controlled airplane take flight, or is that just something that you?
No, it's real. This thing, it's incredible. And they have a guy who came, and his job is to fly airplanes. Like his job is to fly these airplanes, which I thought was really bizarre.
Yeah.
But it was the coolest thing to see that take off. He was doing tricks with it. It was flying all over. He was going up and down and doing little turns. And it was mind blowing that she built this thing and it's flying in the air all over and doing tricks. So I was like, well, I'm pretty sure you got an A on that. And she did.
Did they bring it where did they bring it? To the field, or is it somewhere like outside the facility, or?
No, so there's this huge grass area right outside of campus.
Okay.
She said they fly them every year there. That's part of their project. So it's a huge open field, and they literally take these things off and they just start going. And it was so fun to see the driver of it just maneuver it. And he was so impressed because the way that it was flying, he said, I was listening to the video. He was saying how he was so impressed with how they built it, because it could maneuver so well, where some of the planes that they made can't. They could just go straight.
Wow.
Yeah.
She seemed pretty excited about it. Team 5 was all, I'm going to try to, the Team 5 people. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate it. This has been great. I know Claire was nice enough to tell me you were having this availability, so it really is key. It's one I've wanted to do, and it's okay. We're down to the last few weeks here. We got to, get it in. And it's one I love, because I love that balance that she's doing. So
it's incredible, and I can't say enough about. I mean, she's so special, and she wants, and I think sometimes like she's a kid that I manage a lot, because she wants it so much. And not just for her, like she wants to win so much for this team and so much for our program. And she's the one that, you have to manage, say it's going to be okay. Everything's going to work out. It's all going to be okay, because she just wants it so much.
Yeah, you kind of have to tamp it down more than crank it up, huh?
Absolutely. You don't need to crank that kid up, not one bit.
Yeah, I think she's gonna. I'm like, we're gonna be like flying on planes you build pretty soon. I think
We are, guaranteed.
in a few years we'll be like, oh, I remember when she pitched at Notre Dame, and now she's creating these planes. My dad was an engineer, and he worked on all the naval flight equipment. So, and
Oh.
that just goes over my head. I would go and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but it looks really cool and it seems really complex. And she's like, yeah, that's what I love. I'm like, oh, good, because we need people like you in the world. So
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
yeah, thank you so much. Good luck. That's gonna be a fun regional. I'm really excited about that one. So I know Rachel's probably. I'm sure you're all excited, but yet very intimidated because there's such good players and teams there. So
Yeah, it is. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's crazy how all four of the teams are really, really good. Like, there's no one in there that just happened to show up. These teams are.
yeah, Vierstra is good too. You were saying. I mean, she's got. I mean, I know it's not in like a Power 5 conference, but her numbers are crazy.
It doesn't matter. She's getting it done.
I know. Well, good luck and thank you so much for making time for us. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Have a good day.
Thanks a lot.
All right, and if there are no other questions, I think we will sign off. Thank you, everybody, for joining.